Folks, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. I'll explain. Number one, it's absolutely free. Means you don't pay a dime out of pocket. Number two, you can use creation tools to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, like I'm doing with my phone. Number three, if you want to hear it on multiple platforms, Anchor can do that for you. So you can hear it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, among others. And the thing is, you can make money without anybody listening. As little as that. And everything you need to do is to make a podcast is all here. To get started, please download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. You'll be glad you did.
The opening statement is we got our ass kicked. A humiliating performance. Got to give credit to North Carolina. They were phenomenal. They're probably as good as they can play. Matched up with probably as badly as we can play. And that's the result. Had a good week. Felt like we were ready. Very peculiar. Just that's different than something I've seen. Something happened that's not the way that we play. We'll have to take a hard look at the film. And thank goodness we have a chance to play another game to end 2020 on the right note. I did tell the players that it has been a long year, and over the course of the year, still proud of what they've done to finish the season 8-2. We do not have to be defined by this year, but we damn sure better learn the lesson from it. With that, I'll open up for questions.
Good evening. Pretty much says it all, folks. My take after 62-26 historic loss to Carolina at home. I'm going to get the grades out of the way first. Defense, F across the board. Offense, D. Special teams, D as well. That out of the way. I don't usually give game balls to opponents. Except in this case, I'm going to make an exception. Okay? The game balls for me are going to go to to Carter and Williams, I'm sorry. When you talk about dominance, folks, okay, let's not BS ourselves, okay? These guys had a performance for the ages today. Michael Carter, 24 carries, 308 yards, 2 touchdowns. Javonte Williams, 23 carries, 236 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like I said, I don't give game balls to our opponents. But in this case, I'm going to make an exception and give these two the game ball. To tell you how bad it was, historically bad, you gotta remember a couple things. Okay. Let's remember 1998, Bill Miller. When Bill Miller was fired, it was after a bowl game. And after we gave up 670 yards to UCLA in a win, mind you. A win. 66-13 Syracuse in 98. But that was a young team. That team would bounce back against said UCLA, like I mentioned. But my God, the numbers were abysmal. And I mean abysmal. We allowed almost 800 yards of total offense. 778. 554 rushing. We only get 75 yards rushing. 314. 239 passing. They were 6 for 11 on third downs today. We were 4 for 12. Carolina had the ball for 40 minutes and 19 seconds. We only had the ball for 19 minutes and 41 seconds. I got to tell you something. I mean, they dominated us in every single facet. You name it, they did it. It was utterly embarrassing to see us play this terrible today. We got our butts whipped in every single facet of this game today. Every single one. We allow, again, 554 yards rushing. Michael Carter alone for North Carolina, 24 carries, 308 yards. Javonte Williams, 23 carries, 236 yards. 3 touchdowns, Carter 2. I was absolutely embarrassed to see this today. Now, I thought FIU last year was bad. I've seen bad losses. Syracuse 98, 66, 13. Virginia 48, nothing. Clemson 58, nothing. But we give up 62 points. The last time I remember we gave up 60 plus, you got to go back again. Syracuse 98, 66. But at least that team bounced back the next week. And to see North Carolina players doing a reverse U on our field, there was no fight from us today. Zero fight today. None. It was utterly embarrassing. Utterly embarrassing. Where we go from here after this, who knows? Don't know. We'll know that next Sunday. But I don't know what to say. I am embarrassed. I'm angry. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Heads have to roll. If you remember, Manny himself was defensive coordinator against BYU in 2013, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but Manny's defense gave up 550 yards rushing. Okay? They gave up 550 yards rushing in that game. Manny was gone the next day. Manny was gone the next day. I mean, Taysom Hill against Manny's defense that night, if you remember, gave up. Are you ready for this? That night they gave up almost 430 yards of total offense. 248 of those rushing. This one was a lot worse today. We allowed almost 800. The reason I bring up 2013. I bring up that game for 2 reasons. It's because Manny was fired in Provo the next day. If you remember, I think it was 2012. It was 2012. It was 2013, I'm sorry, 2013. That night, they go 550. Total offense that night. Should be 679 total. 679 Manny's defense gives up in that game. And was promptly fired the next day. Do you wonder if Manny would do the same thing to Blake Baker that Mac did to Manny in 2013 after the loss at Provo. I'll tell you, there's got to be a hard look in the mirror when they get back to Greentree. Because I'm going to tell you, some heads definitely have to roll after this one. You had everything to play for. You had a New Year's Six game right within your grasp. And you picked the worst game of the year, the worst time of the year, to play a historically pathetic performance. And I mean, it was pathetic, guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We were terrible. Terrible. But I'm telling you, heads better roll, or there's going to be a real problem. A real problem. That's my take. Win or lose, go Canes.